If you've watched the last few podcast episodes, you've seen this yarn, and it was actually a different project, and I decided to just go in a different direction. So I'm going to show you what it is, and then I'll talk it out. The Rockstar yarn. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Yarn Everywhere podcast. This is where I share all of my yarn adventures with you, from what I'm crocheting, what I'm knitting, or colorways that I have dyed. So I can't wait to dive in and show you what I've been up to. Grab your favorite project right now and hang out with me for a bit. Let me start off with what I am currently working on, and let me just tell you, I need all of the simple and quick projects right now, so my go-to is usually dishcloths. I am working on a simple cotton dishcloth. This is one of my patterns, and it's just one of my go-to dishcloth patterns because I have it memorized and I can just sit and crochet without thinking. I am using Dishy cotton yarn, and it's one of my favorite yarns for dishcloths. I ran out of this color that I am really obsessed with. So instead of stopping, I went ahead and just used all that I had left, and then used some of my really pretty gray yarn that I had. And even if it doesn't really go together, these are just for me, so I don't mind having a scrappy dishcloth, and I kind of like it. So this is my current whip. Let me just say, it is so nice to be able to start something and finish something very quickly, because it seems like all of my projects lately have been projects that take a really long time. So I'm just feeling a little bit accomplished. I'll show you what all I have finished since the last podcast in the next part. So this is just my go-to project right now, because usually by the time I sit down in the evenings, I'm tired and I just need something to keep my hands busy. My next project is in this beautiful project bag that I will tell you about later. And this is definitely my favorite project right now. Look at all of those colors. They just make me so happy. This is my granny stripe Scrappy blanket. And here is where I was at the last episode. So I've made a little bit of progress. There's just something about all of the randomness and all of the colorful yarn in this blanket that just makes me so happy. And it's another one of those projects where you don't have to think about. You can just go until you run out of yarn, and I really enjoy it. I'm saving some of the scraps from this blanket to make a granny stripe scarf. I think it's going to be so fun. So one thing that I'm trying to do with this blanket is not do more than 2 rows of color. If I still have yarn after 2 rows, I just tie in a new yarn, and then I take whatever's left of that yarn and put it in like a little scrappy bucket to either make scrappy packs for my yarn shop or to use for my granny stripe scarf. I have used a couple of the colors just because I had so much scraps. I have used a couple of the colors twice and just made sure that I spaced it apart enough. That's really like the only thing I'm being kind of ticky about. Other than that, I'm really just picking colors at random and just having fun with it. You may recognize this color right here from the knit sweater that I've been working on. I had just a little bit left, and I was like, you know what? I need to put that in this blanket. So last peek at that, and I'll show you the next thing. If you've watched the last few podcast episodes, you've seen this yarn, and it was actually a different project, and I decided to just go in a different direction. So I'm going to show you what it is, and then I'll talk it out. The Rockstar yarn. I was knitting a pair of socks with this yarn, and let me just tell you, it was just one thing after another. It's not the yarn, it's me. I'm the problem. Anyways, and the other night, I went to work on the socks, and I was just not loving it. And I honestly think what it is the black in the yarn. The only time that I've had lately to work on any projects is in the evening, and I have terrible lighting in my living room. And even with my little light that goes around my neck, I was having the hardest time seeing my stitches. So I decided that I was going to make something else with this yarn because I love it so much. And I will use some like bright yarn that I can see all the stitches with for some socks. I decided to make another juniper cowl. I am obsessed with the juniper cowl, and ever since I finished my last one, I have been wanting to start another one. But I started my knit sweater and I had some other projects, so I just kept putting that on the back burner. I got the idea the other night when I decided I was not going to use this yarn for socks anymore. I'm like, oh my goodness, this would be gorgeous for a juniper cowl. I already have another hank of this yarn. So here is what I have so far. I just love all of those puff stitches. Let me just say, I love making the juniper cowl, but those first few rows, oh my goodness, they are so fiddly. It's hard to like hold your project. Can't wait till it gets a little bit bigger, and after that, it goes pretty fast. This is the Rockstar colorway from Christy at Stitching with Yarn, and I just think it is so pretty. I'm really pleased that I decided to do a cowl with this instead of socks, because I feel like this colorway is just one of those colorways that needs to be shown off, and I just wouldn't be able to show it off and do it the right justice with socks. I've been in a bit of a crochet funk. Like, I want to crochet something, but I don't know what I want to make. So I've just been kind of sticking with the crochet projects that I already have, and it wasn't until I started this juniper cowl that I realized why I was in a crochet funk, because I really wanted to make another juniper cowl and I wasn't letting myself. So it was like I just had this brain block. Like, everything I wanted to make just didn't seem fun to me. So now that I'm making this, I'm really enjoying like crocheting again. I know that sounds so weird, but I knew that if I started another juniper cowl that I would want to just make it until it was finished. And I had my knit sweater and I had my muscle burr hat, and I just had other projects that I really needed to give my focus to. So let me just tell you, I'm so excited to be making another one of these. Hopefully I will be further along on the next podcast because I cannot wait for you to see these colors worked up. I cannot wait to cast on another pair of socks, but I have been making myself wait because the colorway that I want to use is one of my March colorways, and I didn't want to show it on the podcast and ruin anybody's surprise. So I was making myself wait until I did this podcast before I cast on, because I know myself enough that I wouldn't be able to resist. Like, oh my gosh, y'all have to see this. So I'm excited to get started on a pair of socks this weekend, because I won't mind the next podcast showing a sneak peek of the colorway. I just didn't want to do it this early because honestly, I would probably give away what yarn it was just by the look on my face. So I do have some socks planned. Those are all of my projects that I have been working on recently. And you may notice that my big project wasn't in the whips. So let me jump in and show you all the things that I have finished. I was not lying about dishcloths. I've been on a binge lately. But I actually think this one may belong in the whip section, because when I grabbed it, I realized that it was still attached to the ball of yarn. I am used to having the ends hanging out, so I thought that's what it was, and then I just kept pulling and I just kept getting more yarn. So I honestly think I may have like a row or two of this left. I like making my dishcloth square, so let's just see. And a trick that I've learned is if you fold them in half like this, you can see if they're perfectly square, and it isn't. I still have some left over here. So it looks like I still have like a row or two left. So technically a whip. Thought it was a finished project. Oh well, here we are. So this is my sunshine dishcloth pattern. And I just love the texture of all the sunshine patterns. And I'm using Dishy Cotton. And this color is Eggplant. I really like this color. So for real this time, this one is a finished project. This is another simple cotton dishcloth with some more Dishy yarn. And then I have another one that matches it. And yes, I haven't gotten to the ends. My idea is just gonna make a bunch of these and stack them up and then just weave in all the ends at one time. That's my plan. Now I need to finish 2 dishcloths. You know what I may do? I may like make myself do like 5 dishcloths, then weave in the ends before I can start more. And that way it won't be so bad at the end. We'll see. Are you ready to see it? The comfort sweater. So let me just tell y'all, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. And I really haven't had time to crochet or knit. And in the evenings, my brain has just been tired. Let me tell you what I did. I was finishing the sleeve on this and I almost had enough yarn and I ended up having to tie in yarn like, whoops. I really need to weave in these ends. I ended up having to add in more yarn, like 1 row from the end. I was like, really? So let me tell you what I was doing. This is the crazy stuff I do when my brain is tired. What I do is whenever I drop more yarn in, I kind of tie it in a loose knot and then I just shove the ends down in the project. So when I go back, I can weave in the ends and I don't have the stitches coming apart. So this is what I was doing. I was tying my working yarn into the ends here. And so I would get around the other side. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this being so weird? So I would tink back and I'm like, okay, let me try it again. I don't know what I'm doing. It took me like 3 times to figure out what I was doing. I was like, oh my goodness. That's the point where I know I need to just put my needles down and just stop for the evening. The other thing I did is I decided that I was going to be super fancy and try this bind off method that I had just seen on YouTube. I think it's called, I don't know. I think it's called a tubular cast off. You use a darning needle and from what I gather, it's kind of like Kitchener stitch. I don't know. So I tried that, y'all. I made a mess. I just got confused and I don't know. I thought I was going to have to frog the sleeve because I had such a mess and it looked terrible. Thankfully, I was able to go back and fix what I had done and then just do the bind off that I knew how to do. And I'm glad that I did that because I don't think it looks bad. I did mess up here and I'm trying to fix it. You can't really even see it because I think I fixed it. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. But you know what? This is the thing. This is my first knit sweater and I'm giving myself all the grace because yes, there are mistakes in here, but I'm going to focus instead on all that I accomplished. The thing is about mistakes is that now when I start another sweater, I know where I messed up in this. So I feel like my next sweater will be even better. That's just what I'm kind of telling myself so I don't get intimidated about starting another one. So here it is. I haven't blocked it or weaved in the ends, but I plan on doing that soon. And I really think that I love how the sleeves ended up turning out, even though they're just a slightly different color. My goal this weekend is to weave in the ends and get it blocked, and then hopefully I can just like live in it. No, and then I will get some pictures, and maybe if it's not too hot by the next time I podcast, I'll even be able to like wear it for the podcast. I'm super proud of it, and I honestly cannot wait to start another one. I already have another pattern lined up. I'm kind of thinking about starting a knit tee, and I bought a pattern the other day. And I looked at it and I'm just so confused. Like I need a beginner friendly pattern that just like spells it out for me, like makes it so simple. And the pattern that I bought didn't do that. Like I need more words. So I don't know if I'm going to be brave and try to tackle that pattern or if I'm going to find another one or if I'm just going to go with my original plan and just start another sweater. So that's kind of up in the air. Maybe by the next podcast, I'll get it figured out. Those are all of my finished-ish projects. I'm just a little bit shocked at how much I don't have going on as far as knit and crochet projects. But like I said, it's been a crazy couple weeks and I've just been tired. One of the other things that I finished last week, which is always a big project to check off my list every month, is my yarn club. All of the March yarn club packages shipped out on Tuesday. This is like my favorite part of the month where I cannot wait for my yarn club members to see all the goodies that are in store for them, and where I can finally share and talk about the colorways and the extras and all of the things. I'm so glad to have that done. And then I immediately jumped into starting my wholesale order. So I am working on a lot of things behind the scenes that I can't necessarily show. And I think that kind of shows in my actual like crochet and knit projects. I just don't have a lot going on there because by the end of the day, my brain is just like gone. Now let me show you the new item that I got in. If you watched podcast episode 50, you saw where I won a project bag. Also, in that episode, I announced the giveaway winners from podcast episode 48 and 49. And I announced another giveaway. So at the end of this episode, I'm going to announce the winner for episode 50's giveaway. I completely just forgot to even hint at it at the beginning of episode 50. So if you've watched that and you didn't watch the end of it, go back and watch the end of it because I haven't heard from the winners and I'm so sad. And I went through this whole spiel about I'm not going to contact you. I'm not going to like message you because I was so scared of like scammers and stuff that I was just going to announce it in the episode. So go back and watch that because I'm dying for the winners to know that they won so I can send them their goodies. Sorry. Rabbit trail there. Last podcast I showed where I won this super awesome project bag from Barley and Purls, and I loved it so much that I decided I needed another one. I went ahead and splurged and got the bigger one because I just love this fabric, and look at that yarn. It is so pretty. I have my granny stripe blanket in here, and I love how well they have the inside match the outside. It has 2 pockets on the inside, and look how much room it has in there. And I really love the detachable wristlet too. So this is from Barley and Purls, and I will post a link to their Etsy shop in the description of this video so you can check out all their beautiful project bags. Let's dive into yarn news. The Yarn Club is open to new members and I'm so excited. If you're on the wait list, I sent out an email yesterday. I haven't announced it on social media yet. I really need to like get some pictures and videos and things like that, but I wanted to go ahead and make an announcement on here. If you want to come join in the fun, I send out the Yarn Club packages monthly, and it's really more than just yarn. It also comes with just an amazing community that is my favorite part of it. If you have any questions about the Yarn Club, feel free to shoot me an email or comment below and I will be happy to answer any of those questions. Speaking of Yarn Club, let me share with you what was inside of January's Yarn Club. This is one of like my top favorite months, and I have several months of the Yarn Club kind of stacked up to do some separate Yarn Club reveal videos, and I just haven't had time. I decided I would just include it in today's episode because you have to see what was inside January's Yarn Club. The theme was love language, and y'all, it makes me so happy when my members are still talking about some of the extras or the yarn from one of the past Yarn Club packages. So that's another reason why I really want to share it with you today. The love language theme was super fun for me because I based the colorways off of like color combinations that I loved, and I based the extras off of like my love language. So it was a super easy month for me. There was no overthinking it. I just jumped in and had fun. Let me show you what the extras were. The first one was a packet of hot cocoa mix, and if you follow me on social media, you saw big mugs of hot cocoa like all winter long. It's like my guilty pleasure in the evenings. I think I like the marshmallows more than I like the hot chocolate. It's just so perfect to curl up with a project and a cup of hot cocoa on a cold night. It's like the best way to end the day for me. So that's kind of what I had in mind whenever I picked this for the Yarn Club, is that at the end of the day, they can put their feet up, pour them a mug of hot cocoa, and work on whatever project brings them joy. The other extra, let me tell you, my Yarn Club members crack me up. So many of them told me that they went and ordered more of this after they got it in their Yarn Club. So let me just show you. This is Griff's Coffee Toffee. This stuff, oh my gosh. It is the best toffee I have ever had. Like my mouth is watering thinking about it. I love coffee. I love chocolate. I love candy. I'm a sweets person. So when I found these, I was like, oh yes, this has to go in the Yarn Club. This is dark chocolate coffee toffee. And I am not a huge dark chocolate fan because it's just not sweet enough for me. But let me tell you, this stuff is amazing. And if it wasn't for heat and humidity, I would have this in the Yarn Club like tomorrow. That's how good it was. Also, they sell these in 5-pound bags. The struggle is real. I want to order a 5-pound bag of this. I would probably end up eating it in one sitting. It's that good. Okay, Griff's Coffee Toffee. Life-changing. So as you can tell, chocolate, candy, definitely part of my love language. Maybe you can guess another part of my love language. The other extra was a mini hank of yarn, and I just let myself have fun with these colors too. And I think these are so adorable. So this was called Mermaid Dreams because I was just getting like all of the mermaid vibes with it. This is a 20-gram mini on worsted, and every one of my Yarn Club members got this along with the hot chocolate and the amazing coffee toffee. My premium members get an extra exclusive item, and that was this yarn ball with the heart sticker. It's a vinyl sticker, and it says yarn is my love language. It's a really pretty dark teal color. I thought this was great for them to like put on their project notebook or a water bottle. I have a MacBook and I have a case on it, and so I put like a lot of my favorite stickers on that case. So that's where mine went. And this sticker was made by With Love from JLB, and they are on Etsy. I will post a link below to their shop so you can go check them out. Are you ready for the best part? Let me show you the yarn. So each month in my Yarn Club, I do 3 different colorways because I don't like dyeing the same yarn over and over again. Plus, I feel like with that, I can hand pick yarn for each individual because we all have different colors that we're drawn to. I usually have a favorite every month because if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I play favorites. But this month, I really don't have a favorite. I kept one of each. And I have no shame in that. So let me just randomly pick one, okay? This is Lovey Dovey. I made my Brinley scarf with this colorway. You already know I'm obsessed with like pinks and grays. There's also this really pale pink color that I love to speckle with because it breaks. And you get these pops of like this bright pink here, and sometimes it'll break into orange. Let me see, like orange, and I think I've even seen it like blue. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I can see it in here. So I did speckle this one, but you can't really tell that I speckled. That's where those little spots of color came from. So this was Lovey Dovey. The next color really surprised me. I took like 3 of my favorite colors and I put them together on yarn, and I was really surprised at how it turned out. This is Love is a Beach because it gives me all of the beach vibes. I just kept thinking of like chippy paint or things that were painted like coral and turquoise or aqua, and they have that like weathered look to them because of the humidity and the salt, and it just gave me the beach vibes. And then the gray is in there for like weathered wood. I don't know. I'm obsessed. So this is Love is a Beach. The last colorway really makes my heart sing. Let me just show you. You know, I like the bold and bright colors, and this was just... So this colorway is called This is Love. And as I was dyeing this, I was like, this is love. This is my love language. These are my colors. Look at all that beautifulness. Let me just hold up all 3 colors for you. There we go. Love is a Beach right here. And the middle is This Is Love, and then this one down here is Lovey Dovey. Let me know, which one of these is your love language? Or are you like me and all three of them are your love language? I really think for me, it kind of depends on my mood, and then also it depends on my projects. I've noticed lately that a lot of the things that I'm gonna wear, like up by my face and things like that, I'm leaning a lot more to like the neutral colors. And then like for my socks and things like that, I go with really, really bright. Or for hats or ear warmers, I lean more towards like the bright and bold colors. So these are the colorways from January, and the theme was love language. Which one would you pick? And what would you make with it? So I'll show you the extras one more time. It was chocolate. We got hot chocolate, we got the divine coffee toffee, and we got the yarn is my love language sticker and a mini hank of yarn. Do we have the same love language? Let me know. I have one more thing in yarn news to share with you. I have been working for a while now on yarn for a shop update, and I'm excited to announce that the yarn shop update will go live at 7 p.m. CST on Monday, and let me show you all the goodness I have in store for you. I'll start out with sock sets. This is Canadian Sky. I love this colorway, and I think the minis that go with it are just perfect. I love how this aqua color broke in a couple spots, and you get that pop of green. I think that's gonna work up so nicely. So this is one of the sock sets that will be in the shop. Here's another one, and this is Laffy Taffy. If you watched the last episode, you know that I can't just say it normally. It has to be Laffy Taffy. Like, I've got to, like, go big. And I love this color, and I think, again, I think the minis are so fun. Here is another Laffy Taffy set, but I decided to just go rogue and do a pop of that lime green with it, and I really think that is going to make some gorgeous socks. And then I have another option for the Laffy Taffy set, and this comes with a blue and an aqua color. I'm obsessed with this colorway. I had some Frankly 90s sock sets, and they were so cute, but my Yarn Club members claimed all of those. So these are the ones that are going to be in the shop update. I recently had to order some dyes for the wholesale order that I'm doing, and I can't just order dyes that I need. I'm always going to add at least like a few new colors to my cart. So this colorway was made with some of the new dyes that I have in, and I really just had fun with it. I just grabbed randomly and put the colors on the yarn randomly. So these are like a one-of-a-kind colorway. I'm calling them Pansy Party. I'm in like a big floral theme right now because it's spring and the flowers are starting to peek out. So this just made me think of pansies. And I'm really liking like the blues and the purples and even the white. I usually have a hard time leaving white on colorways, but I do think it just makes the other colors stand out even more. And I love this pop of red in here. It's a new red color that I have called Watermelon. And I like that it's not like overpowering in your face. It's even really pretty at a lighter concentration. So this is Pansy Party. And I only have this on worsted, and I have a few left on sock weight. Ooh, look at that pop of red there. Another colorway you're going to see in the shop update is If This Ain't Spring. Like, this just screams spring to me. I love how the colors just stand out on this. This is available on sock weight and on worsted weight. Look at all of those speckles. These colors just make me so happy. I don't have any more of this on DK. I think I just have 2 on sock weight and then a few on worsted. Let me tell you the story about these 2 colorways. One of my Yarn Club members reached out to me and wanted me to dye some bulky yarn for them, and I just had a few in stock, so I was like, okay. And she gave me free reign to just like dye whatever colors I wanted to dye. So that's always fun. And that is how this colorway came about. I only dyed the one pan of it for her, and I loved it so much that I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to dye more of this because I have a project for it in mind and I wanted some yarn to go with it. And then I dyed this yarn for another project. And I got to looking at them and I'm like, oh my goodness, this would actually be really pretty together. So I dyed more of this. And I love these together. I think worked up, they would just really complement each other. Then when it came to putting them in the yarn shop, like I chickened out. I just listed them separately. And I don't know if I'm still gonna leave them separate for the yarn shop update or not, but they will both be in there. And it's available on worsted, DK, and sock weight. And I'm keeping a set for myself. I know I'm keeping a set of sock weight because I want to make a shawl with it, but I'm really thinking about grabbing some worsted weight because I kind of want to make a sassy triangle cowl with these two colors. I just think it would be so gorgeous. And I am all about cowls right now. I also think this would be super pretty for another juniper cowl. Now let me show you another colorway that just makes me so happy. Look at that set. Oh my goodness. This just makes me so happy, like almost giddy happy. Anybody else? Or am I just weird? I think this set would be perfect for a shawl, a cowl. My friend Sarah over at SEK Handmade has a new poppy shawl and it calls for fingering weight yarn, and I think this would make a gorgeous poppy shawl. In fact, one of my yarn club members and I were chatting the other night and she was talking about trying to find some yarn to make that with, and I showed her this set and she was like, yes. So as bad as I want to keep this set for me, this will be in the yarn shop. This colorway is a one-of-a-kind colorway, and I made it with all of the leftover dye powder that was on my gloves from speckling this one. So what I did is I just had this heated up in a separate pan, and when I got done speckling one color, I would go over to this yarn and I would just touch it with my glove, literally like wipe my glove off randomly on the yarn. I just did that throughout the process, and so that's how this came about, and it always makes the prettiest yarn. I also had 2 hanks of worsted weight yarn in with that one. So I have 2 worsted weights up for grabs. And let me tell you, this hurts my heart to part with because I usually keep these and I'm trying not to be selfish. I also have these 2 colorways I showed you earlier on worsted weight. I will say that it does look different. This is a new base that I got that is worsted weight, and I decided that it wasn't any better than my previous yarn base. So I'm phasing this one out, but you could still put these together. I just want to say, if you shop the yarn shop update and you receive a long hank of worsted weight yarn and a short hank of worsted weight yarn, they're both worsted weight yarn. I had just tried this base out because I had heard so many great things about it, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if it's better than the base that I've been using, and it's not. It's not. To me, it feels the same, and I just like the shorter hanks of yarn because that's what I'm used to dyeing. So I just wanted to say that in case you order and you're like, what is going on? That's what it is, and I'm phasing these out and going back to my shorties. I think I got so excited about showing you these colors earlier that I didn't even tell you the colorway names. This is Bloomtastic, and this is Coralie Mind. Look at those speckles. I'm really proud of myself. Like, I contained myself when it came to speckles. I didn't want to take away from the base color. But I also think the only reason I was able to contain myself is because I did not contain myself when it came to these speckles. Y'all, I speckled so much the last few weeks, like I think my speckler's broken. Like my hand, I would have to stop and like massage my thumb right here because I speckle like this. Like I use all of my fingers. In fact, I think I use my entire arm when I speckle. Like I use my whole body. I want all the speckles I can get when I speckle, and my hand is still sore. Bloomtastic is going to be in the shop update on Monday, and it is on worsted, DK, and sock weight. Same with Corally Mine. And the unnamed one-of-a-kind gorgeousness is going to be in that shop update as well. I haven't named this yet, so I'm open to suggestions. Let me know. Also, I need you to hold my feet to the fire. And if you don't see these in the shop update, be like, girl, you said we'd have a chance at these. But I'm telling you, it's probably like a 24-hour chance, because if they don't sell, they're mine. Caught my Facebook Live last Friday where I dyed a custom order that was really cool, by the way. It's already shipped out, or I would show it off. I will post a picture here though so you can see it, because it is really pretty and it's way out of my comfort zone, but it surprises me how much I love how it turned out. While that yarn was setting, I decided to grab some yarn out of my over dye party bucket and play around a little bit. So I grabbed 2 hanks of this yarn. I think it was called I'm Yours, and I over dyed it with black cherry, and I'm really surprised at how it turned out. I really thought there was gonna be more black on here. Check that out. I really like it though. To me, it makes those other colors stand out even more. So this one has been renamed In the Spotlight. It is a one-of-a-kind because it can't really be repeated. There's one in DK weight and there's one in sock weight, and that will be in the shop update too. And I've been showing off Frankly 90s for several weeks now. That's also coming in the shop update. I only think I have it left on DK and worsted weight. You may recognize this color from my sweater. I have a few of these left over and I decided I would share because it is such a pretty color. So I have 2 of these on worsted weight that will be in the shop update. Do you remember me talking about the mini adventure that I was doing? Well, I have one of those mini adventure sets put together. This has been a labor of love. It has taken me a while to put these together, but I'm super excited. Look at that. How fun. It's like a mini party. This is a sock weight set of minis. It's 10 20-gram minis, and it is so hard not to keep this for myself. Also, do you notice my new yarn wrap labels? It's really hard not to completely switch over to these because I really, really like them, but I'm trying to use up all of my old labels first and then switch to these. But my old labels would not fit around this mini adventure, so I was tickled that I got to use those. In the shop update, I'm not sure if I will get to the other sets yet or not, because some of these are just one-of-a-kinds that I made, so I don't quite have another set of 10, but I think I still have some sets of 5. It really just depends on if I can get to them this weekend or not. So save me from myself and claim this on Monday. I keep picturing a juniper cowl with this because I'm just obsessed with it. Or some kind of shawl. Like, I think it would be really pretty to make a shawl with this. Or some Scrappy socks. Let me know what you would make with this. I literally have bins like this of minis on my kitchen table that I need to put together as sets. I think I'm just overthinking them. I have sock weight, DK weight, and worsted weight. Maybe I need to like go live on Facebook and show you what I have, and y'all could just help me put them into sets, because I think I'm to the point where I've like overwhelmed myself and I'm overthinking every step. Anybody else do that? So that is all the yarn fun that I've been having, and I'm so excited to finally share those with you and to have a shop update. The shop update is going to be Monday, April 3rd at 7 p.m. CST. If you place an order, put the word podcast in your order notes. I will put a fun little happy in your order. That wraps up all of the yarny news that I have for you. Now, as promised, let's find out who the winner of podcast episode 50's prize is. Let's do that whole drum roll. That's something I've never been able to do, the whole noise with your mouth, so I'm not even going to embarrass myself. All right. The winner of the March Yarn Club package from episode 50 is Lindsay Kate. Yay! Congrats, Lindsay. And thank you everyone who joined in the giveaway fun. Lindsay, if you will shoot me an email with your shipping address, your preferred yarn weight, and your favorite yarn colors, I will get your package in the mail to you. I will have my email address in the description of this video so you can just copy and paste it. Again, congrats. Thank y'all for joining in the episode 50 celebrations, and if you haven't watched episode 50, go back and check it out because I announced the winners from episode 48 and 49 in there. And I am so ready to get these packages out to the winners. Well, y'all, that is a wrap for this Yarn Everywhere episode. I hope that you enjoyed listening as much as I did recording it. So until next time, keep those hooks and needles busy creating what brings you joy. Happy yarning. Bye for now.